Okay, section 2.4, part 8. So this is the last little bit of acid-base chemistry. This is actually the last bit of chemistry at all that we're going to cover this course. Looking at salts. Okay, so salt is actually super significant. It is found naturally in a whole bunch of places. There are different things that we refer to as salts, chemically. When we're talking about salt, we're generally talking about sodium chloride, though. So salts in general are ionic compounds that are formed when acids and bases react. Salts are also produced if oxides or carbonates react with acids, or if metals react with acids. So we saw that in our lab before the break, where we did a bunch of different types of reactions, and some of our sort of confirmations of our types of our results were based off of using some chemical indicators. So table salt, which is, if you generally just hear salt, is what you're referring to, sodium chloride, is naturally found in seawater, salt lakes, and rock deposits. Okay, so there's our water cycle that results in dissolved salts evaporating in the ocean, or that don't evaporate, from the ocean. Salt in general was super highly valued as a commodity. It's great for preserving foods. Okay. Generally, table salt you find right now is not pure sodium chloride. It also has some sodium iodide in it. So iodine's added, which minimizes goiter, which is a disease of the thyroid that can result in some extreme swelling in the neck. So sodium chloride is one kind of salt. Okay, so in general, if we're talking about salts in chemistry, we're talking about a salt that is made up of a positive ion from a base and a negative ion from an acid. So it's any ionic compound, potentially. It's just based on how it's been formed. So if we look at table salt, we've got that crystal lattice, that standard ionic structure, where we have alternating positive and negative charges, but no actual bonds being made because no electrons are actually being shared. Okay, so they're not actually like connected to specific ions. Okay, when sodium chloride goes into water, it does dissolve into its components, so positive sodium ions and negative chloride ions. Salts in general are found in a bunch of different things, so in batteries, in explosives, in fertilizers, in multivitamins, and in living cells. Okay, so the general form of how this works is we have an acid plus a base, and that gives us salt and water. So we've talked about this already when we've looked at neutralization reactions. So now it's just looking at specifically that formation of the salt. So our acids start with our hydrogen, and then our bases end in our hydroxide. Okay, and then our water is our hydrogen and our hydroxide. And our salt is coming from the other things. So anytime we have a salt, it is the metal that is coming from the base paired with the non-metal coming from the acid, and that specific type of ionic compound is what we consider to be a salt in chemistry. And that's it.